All right, y'all, this week, the Secretary of Defense, or as our president called him, the Secretary of War, posted a video that he had to immediately take down because he used Metallica's music in the background without their permission. And as you can imagine, the internet's takes were wild. Well, I'm here to tell you they're looking at this thing all wrong. On episode 227 of Heavy Metal Philosophy, I'll explain why. And by the way, I promise that this isn't going to be some political Pete Hegseth hit piece. This is a technology episode. Welcome, metalheads. I'm the host of Heavy Metal Philosophy and writer for Metal Digest, JonBarbas. Make sure you stick around to the end of the episode for this week's Riff of the Week. This past Friday, the American Secretary of Defense posted a video on Twitter.
It's still
Twitter
to me, damn it!
Outlining the future of America's drone policy. Well, that video also featured Metallica's biggest hit playing in the background, and it didn't take Twitter long to contact the DoD and request they take the video down on copyright grounds. And they did take it down, but the internet is forever, so I managed to grab a copy of the original posted video. Let's play a little sample of that now.
In June, President Trump issued an executive order unleashing American drone dominance.
I obviously didn't play the whole video because I don't want to run afoul of Metallica either, but you get the point. Now, let's read the statement the Pentagon put out on why this video was taken down. Pentagon spokesperson said on Friday, quote, "This afternoon, representatives from X reached out to DoD regarding a video posted to our social media page and asked that the video be removed due to copyright issue with the song Enter Sandman by Metallica. The video has been taken down, corrected, and re-uploaded to our page." End quote. Did y'all catch that? There's something very important in that statement that the people upset about this obviously missed. But we'll come back to that in just a minute. First, let's play the video that got re-uploaded without Metallica's music.
You know what? We know why we were put here. We were brought here to rebuild the military, match capabilities to the threats of today. So while our adversaries have produced millions of cheap drones, before us, we were mired in bureaucratic red tape. Not anymore. In June, President Trump issued an executive order unleashing American drone dominance to bolster our drone industry and arm our warfighters, because that's what we're all about. So today, I'm rescinding restrictive policies that stifle production, and this will unleash American manufacturing and the ingenuity of our warfighters by doing three key things. First, we're going to bolster the U.S. drone manufacturing base by producing thousands of American-made products, prioritizing Buy American. We'll arm combat units with a variety of low-cost, American-crafted drones, leveraging our world-leading engineers and AI experts. And third, we're going to train as we expect to fight. Senior officers, well, I'll grab this because it's the memo. Senior officers must overcome bureaucratic risk aversion in budgeting, weaponeering, and training. So here's the memo we're signing today, delivered via drones. Here on the front lawn of the Pentagon, with some of our great warfighters flying them. This is the future. We're in the fight. We're in the fight to win it, and we're never gonna back down.
Yeah, it's just not as cool without the heavy metal music playing in the background. There's something really weird about a military commercial without epic music as a part of the score. Something seems off. Now let's take a look at a video the Department of Defense released just a month ago.
No more distractions. No more electric tanks. No more gender confusion, no more climate change worship. We are laser focused on our mission of warfighting.
We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. It's called peace through strength.
You look into the eyes of these young Americans who are giving up the best years of their life in a uniform to serve their nation. They are incredible.
power and might. We will lead the world to peace. Our friends will respect us. Our enemies will fear us. And the whole world will admire the unrivaled greatness of the United States military. We will replenish the pride of our armed forces, end the recruitment crisis.
We don't fight because we hate what's in front of us. We fight because we love what's behind us.
God bless you. God bless our armed forces. God bless our men and women serving overseas. And God bless the United States of America.
Now, longtime subscribers know that I'm vehemently anti-war. It's my #1 issue, but let's put my personal politics aside just for the purposes of this video and objectively compare these two videos, the Peace Through Strength video versus the drone video without music. Using only fidelity as a criteria, the Peace Through Strength video was just much better. And I want to reiterate, I'm not speaking on the content of the videos or their politics. I'm strictly speaking about the quality of the videos. Where was this fidelity and effort on the drone video? It almost seems like he grabbed a couple of dudes and was like, come with me, I got an idea. Then he just went out on the front lawn of the Pentagon and filmed it off the cuff like he was making a TikTok video.
We'll do it live! Do it live!
And I'm not just saying that because there's no B-roll or cinematic score. Listen to how he delivers the words in the drone video.
And third, we're gonna train as we expect to fight. Senior officers, well, I'll grab this because it's the memo. Senior officers must overcome bureaucratic risk aversion in budgeting, weaponeering, and training. So here's the memo.
And now listen to how the words are delivered in the Peace Through Strength video.
We don't fight because we hate what's in front of us. We fight because we love what's behind us.
It's pretty obvious the drone video was done live and off the cuff, whereas the Peace Through Strength video was highly edited with a cinematic score. They didn't just slap Enter Sandman on in the background. As someone who films and edits video, it's pretty obvious that they hired a more than competent editor and director for the Peace Through Strength video. Now let's take a look at a completely different video. This is an ad not from a government agency, but from a private military contractor, Palantir.
We must choose to engage with the world as it actually is, not how we want it to be. From the foxhole to the factory floor, from the battlefield to the boardroom. Shoulder to shoulder, Palantir supports our fighting forces. We share one mission. Win.
Now, once again, completely putting my personal politics aside, just strictly speaking on the quality of the video, how was that one? Pretty good, right? Now, here's the weird thing. This ad aired during the annual Army versus Navy American football game. Now, to be totally clear, it's not unusual for the actual Army or the Navy to run ads during a football game. The Army and the Navy have to recruit soldiers and sailors after all. That's not weird.
Young people from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
It's weird that a private corporation is doing this. Why does a private corporation run ads on television? Well, usually it's to get us to buy their products. Are any of you hearing the sound of my voice in a financial or legal position to buy products from Palantir? Have you ever been watching the news and suddenly you see a Boeing ad? I've seen ads for Boeing, General Dynamics, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin. And so again, I have to ask, are any of us in any financial or legal position to buy any of those companies' products. Do any of you have a fighter jet, a machine gun, a Reaper drone on your Christmas list? Can you afford to buy these things? And even if you can, we're not legally allowed to buy those platforms. So why are they advertising on television? This is a question that I've been asking ever since the Bush administration. These are, after all, some of the most profitable companies in existence, and they didn't get that way by taking actions without expecting a return on their investment. And hey, let's do a completely different example just to further take my reflexive anti-war bias out of this thing. Have you ever been watching the news and seen a Pfizer commercial, and not one for a specific drug? Side effects include anal leakage, death, and getting that one song stuck in your head. Please see your physician if your genitals prolapse. No, I'm not talking about specific drug commercials. I mean a generically branded Pfizer commercial. I've seen those on the news before, but why? Have any of us ever gone to the doctor and when he's writing the prescription, we go, hey, can I get the Pfizer version instead of the Johnson & Johnson? Or do you do like what most of us do and just sort of trust that your doctor is going to prescribe what he thinks is best for your situation? So, why are companies running ads for services that we don't buy? Well, like most things, I think that there are multiple reasons for this, but I think the two main reasons are for sponsorship influence and manufacturing consent. I mean, back to the DoD drone video, why is this administration running ads when they've already won the election? Well, I think it's pretty much the same concept that I just laid out, except there's probably also the added component of ego, just wanting to be in front of the camera. And here you might be saying, hey, aren't you in front of the camera right now? Yeah. Anyway, I mean, okay, guilty, sure. Back on topic, I laid out two reasons why I think these practices are done. One was sponsorship influence and the other was manufacturing consent. Now, I think that the metalheads, you guys and gal in the heavy metal philosophy audience, y'all are plenty smart and already know what manufacturing consent is, so I won't waste y'all's time. So let's talk about sponsorship influence, which leads us back to why Metallica's music was removed from the Department of Defense video. So let's ask the question one last time. Why do corporations run ads on television? Well, in the case of a corporation like McDonald's, it's to influence you to hopefully pick McDonald's next time you're in the mood for fast food. But why does a corporation like Northrop Grumman run ads on TV? I mean, are you in the market for a LGM-35 Sentinel missile defense system? The ads they run obviously aren't for you and me. They're for the very news organization that they're being run on. Notice you don't see these ads on game shows and soap operas. It's only on the news. This is so that they can be sponsors of that news program and thus influence it. All right, so let's use a different example than the one I'm harping about to once again eliminate my bias and prove my point. In 2012, the journalist Amber Lyons sued CNN because they censored her coverage of the country of Bahrain because Bahrain was running tourism ads on that network. Now, I know that this sounds a little conspiratorial, but let me just ask one question. If I took a sponsorship deal on this channel from a gym equipment company, how long do you think that they would continue to give me money if I accused them of human rights abuses? That is one of the reasons why I think the DoD and private military corporations run advertisements on TV. In the service and influence economy, advertisers run the world. When was the last time you saw a corporate news channel oppose a war? And so with that in mind, let's get back to Twitter asking the Department of Defense to take down that video. Quote, "This afternoon, representatives from X reached out to DOD regarding a video posted to our social media page and asked that the video be removed due to copyright issue with the song Enter Sandman by Metallica. The video has been taken down, corrected, and re-uploaded to our page, end quote. Did you catch that? It said that Twitter reached out to the DOD. It did not say that Metallica reached out. I'd be willing to bet that Twitter asked them to remove the video well before Metallica was even aware. And what makes me think that, you might ask? Well, I run a YouTube channel that regularly uses heavy metal bands' music in the background. And 99% of the time, I know if there's going to be any copyright issues before I even hit the publish button, because YouTube has systems in place to protect themselves from copyright liability. They check my video as I'm uploading it before I can even hit the publish button. Now, a key difference between YouTube and Twitter is you can't really upload your post to Twitter before you publish it to the rest of the world. So you can't really check beforehand, but what I'm saying is I would be shocked if Twitter didn't have some sort of system to protect themselves from copyright liability. Now, I would run an experiment to try, but I don't want to lose my profile. And somehow I just don't think that Twitter would politely ask me to take a post down like they did for the secretary. There are companies out there whose business model is to look for infringements and enforce copyright on behalf of the rights holders. I've seen their names pop up in certain videos that I've done that have been claimed. So, to all the people on Twitter saying Metallica's gone woke and Metallica hates the troops, no, Metallica doesn't hate the troops. Please be serious. I know, I guess that's too much to ask. I already know that these are deeply unserious people and, more importantly, deeply dishonest people. They have to frame every single solitary minor issue through a culture war lens to drive engagement with their audience and thus make money. It's all for personal enrichment and at the expense of our country and our society. I mean, it really only takes a moment's thought. So you're telling me James Hetfield, the guy who fled California so that he could shoot guns and hunt, the guy who wrote "Don't Tread on Me" and used a gun as a percussion instrument during the recording, you're telling me that guy hates the troops. So you can be for individual freedom and low taxes and guns, but you can't oppose war and the corporate welfare of the military-industrial complex and needless foreign entanglements without being accused of being a woke communist. What does that really say about your political movement? But really, all of that is a moot point because, once again, Metallica didn't do this. Twitter did. They were operating on standard business procedures to protect themselves from copyright liability. And do we really think that Elon Musk's Twitter opposes Pete Hegseth or opposes the marriage between the private sector and the public sector in order to technologically overhaul the military? Nah. They're just doing business. Because regardless of what your politics are, capitalism always wins. Now, before we close, some of you might be thinking at this point, yeah, I get your point, but why did you include Palantir in this episode? Well, to be honest, I really just took advantage of this controversy so that I would have a reason to point out that Palantir is founded by Peter Thiel. And who is Peter Thiel, you might ask? Well, he just did an interview with the New York Times, and let's just play a few choice moments.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit in
Should
this.
you tell me a story about the Antichrist coming to power and using the fear of technological change to sort of impose order on the world, I feel like that Antichrist would maybe be using the tools that you were building, right? Like, wouldn't the Antichrist be like, great, we're not going to have any more technological progress, but I really like what Palantir has done so far, right?
Yeah,
isn't that a concern? Wouldn't that be the irony of history would be that the man publicly worrying about the Antichrist accidentally hastens his or her arrival?
There are all these different scenarios. I obviously don't think that that's what I'm doing. To be clear, I don't think that's what you're doing either. I'm just interested in how you get to a world willing to submit to permanent authoritarian rule.
Yeah, I feel totally comfortable that this guy is running our military's drone swarms and his algorithms are making decisions for healthcare by all of the country's health insurance agencies, and that they own all of the personal data of every citizen. Yeah, this seems fine.
Satan laughing stretches red.